began in 1993. Between us, Jayne and I have 4 children, and in 1993 things were not going very well in our lives. I'm sure a lot of you have the same feeling. And then somebody telephoned us about this company called Forever Living Products. And we needed an opportunity. We needed to build a future for ourselves and our family. So we started in August of 1993. And in 14 weeks we became managers. And in 8 months we were senior managers. And in 7 years we were diamonds. And after just 6 years, we never ever needed to work again if we didn't want to. But the reality is we want to. This is not a job, this is a way of life. And along the way we learned some things. And that's really what we want to share with you today. What we learned along the way, the things that are necessary to be not just an okay leader, but a great leader, and to go on to become diamonds. You know, you've got to have above average drive. Being average is in the middle. It's not a very exciting place to be. You know, it's halfway between the top and the bottom. And you will never achieve great things in your life and with your team and with Forever by being average. It starts with being above average in drive. Above average in drive. Now, to be above average in drive, you have to have a good engine to drive the vehicle forward, don't you? You have to have a good engine. So you have to have above average drive for personal success. Not because you want to be a person with a lot of ego, but because it seems like a good place to be above average in success. But also, of course, because this is a team business, you have to have above average drive for your team so that you are inspiration, because they can follow somebody who is clearly motivated for themselves and for them. What else did we learn, Jen?
Well, to be a great leader, you have to have what we call above average sense of urgency. There's no point hanging around. The marketing plan with Forever Living is incredibly exciting. But why would you want to stay an assistant supervisor when you can be a manager? Why would you want to be a manager when you can be a senior manager, a soaring manager, a sapphire manager, a diamond sapphire, a diamond, a double diamond? So you need to have the passion and the urgency, and you need to take great action now. You know, I hear people say that around the world there's a recession. Has anybody in the room heard that news about there's a recession? Not in Forever there isn't. Forever has decided to not take part in the world's problems. In fact, Forever increased last year by nearly 20% worldwide. Over 400 million up on the year before. Do you think that is a company that doesn't recognise a recession? So when you hear people say there are tough times out there, let me tell you there are not tough times in Forever. Tough times never last, tough people do.
You have to have above average, and you'll hear this all the way through our talk, above average. This is the critical thing, to be above average. You have to have a sense of commitment. You know, this isn't something that happens in 5 minutes. You have to make a commitment to the journey. And we made a commitment. We really didn't know what we should be doing. Not at the beginning. We knew we had to do a lot, but we didn't know what the thing was. So we talked to each other and we said, well, I guess if we speak to 5 people a day about the business and 1 person a day about the products, even if we're terrible at it, something will happen. Now, looking back, I think we should have done more. But let me just share with you what happened to us based on those 5 people a day. In our first full year, we made contact with 1,585 people. Some of those were people we knew, family, friends, neighbours, relatives. But the others were people who we made contact with. We decided we would get out of our comfort zone and talk to people we didn't yet know. And to our surprise, it was a pleasant experience most of the time. That resulted in 502 follow-up calls to arrange to sit down with them and really show them the business. So already you can see it's only 1 in 3. All right? You have to understand, it's the numbers, and the numbers will work this way. That resulted in 165. Again, about 1 in 3, one-to-ones. One-to-one. This is a person-to-person business. We love that. You make contact with another human being, and in honesty and integrity, you explain a little bit about what this business is about and what your personal feeling is about the business. 132 people out of the 165 said no, or no, not now. We finished up with 33 people who joined the business. Remember, we're starting with 1,585 contacts. Was it worth going through those numbers? Well, I would suggest it probably was, because in our first year's efforts resulted in 6 managers. That also gave us a first-year income, after all expenses, of £22,500, which was more than the national average in a job or career in the UK at that time. By the 3rd year, it was over £110,000, 5 times the national income. And it's also interesting, of the 132 who said no, not now, or no, absolutely, there was one person whom we really liked and we followed up on for 7 years, 2 months and 3 weeks, and suddenly the time was right and she became our 25th manager. That made us die. The other thing I firmly believe with all my heart is that you have to display an above average sense of personal conduct. But you know, when you become a leader, you have a responsibility to the people you lead. You know, we live in a world, don't we, where all too many heroes suddenly are no longer heroes because of the way they conduct themselves and the things they do. So I do believe in many ways you become a role model. You know, even if you just joined the business and you've got your first sponsor, you are the role model to them. So I would suggest if you want to be a real leader, you have to conduct yourself really, really well. Honourably, with the right attitude, treating people in the right way. I really, really believe that's very important. Above average sense of personal conduct. What else?